The world will keep moving if I don't post.
Damn, can you say that again?
You can't assume that creators are fake, but there are definitely a lot of fake creators.
Yeah, man. I feel like I'm pulling up to therapy right now.
What's up, y'all? It's a little different. We on Creators on Creators today.
Yep.
Yeah, me and Jalen Noble out here. We got invited by our great co-host that just decided to have us out here, and it just worked out that me and him were the two guest stars on today's podcast.
Funny how that works.
Yeah, it's funny how it works. But they've got some creative segments for y'all, so we're gonna hit those. I'm David, Don't Trip Podcast. As you know, this is we've been here before, but it's a little bit of a different vibe.
Familiar settings.
Yeah, familiar settings.
I'm Jalen. I've been a guest on Don't Trip before, and happy to be a big guest here. But yeah, we're going to get into it today. Talk a lot about being a creator, what it's like. So stay tuned.
Yeah. You know, y'all been asking for this, actually, just kind of the in-depth ins and outs of our podcast, of our lives. And
there's a lot of things behind the scenes with creators that people don't know and they want to, but it's this is a very insightful, I think, conversation and podcast. So we got a lot for you today, but yeah, it's definitely an interesting convo for sure. It's a different world.
It's a whole different world. Everyone, they just see the outside. They just see what you guys see on the clips on TikTok, Instagram, all that stuff, but there's so much more that goes behind it. Yeah.
Before I was a creator, I always wondered like what it was like being a creator. I always got to consume and like what goes on in your life. How do you do this? Like what's the and I'm happy to share a lot of that today. So that's what we'll do. But
facts.
Yeah.
All right. Segment 1, the creator and the inspiration.
Yeah, starting off is what is your name? You guys know it. And then what type of content do you create?
Yeah.
I'll go first. Lifestyle content. I think that's probably the easiest way to sum it up for me. I think it applies to a lot of different areas. Like I was actually having a conversation with my friend. Dog content, love content, like lifestyle, workout, diet, self-care, mental health. Like there's a lot of things I think that fall under my umbrella idea of lifestyle. So that's, I would say in a nutshell, the content I create.
Facts. And don't trip. It's advice at no price. We're gonna get you right. We try to help everyone out. We just get questions from fans. It's a fan-oriented show, and we just try to help people out. Whether it be a laugh, whether it be some advice that you can just follow, take with you the next day. That's kind of what we do. We dabble in a little bit of street content. We've done that every now and then. It's always interesting to get people's opinions on the street of different questions. Yeah. We've had some vlogs, maybe once or twice, but mostly we're just two guys, maybe possibly three, that just live our lives and kind of help y'all out. The big brothers you never had. That's what we're doing.
Ooh, I like that. That's a good tag.
Feel me?
Now, what led you to start creating, and what has been your experience so far?
Oh, creation. We were bored. Yeah, we were mad bored in college one time. So we just made a YouTube channel. It did really well, and then COVID hit, so we had to stay inside. And then we were like, we can create from inside too. Like, let's create. So we bought the mics on Amazon. We tried it out, and there's some videos just started going stupid, and that was an inspiration. And I think what keeps me creating actually is just the fact that people message me saying, you guys helped me. You guys got me through a dark time. You guys got me through a situation, whether it just be, like I said, a laugh or actual advice. So that's what kept me going. And my experience so far has been good. It's been cool. It's been crazy to kind of, I would never consider myself famous, but when people come up to me and say you're famous or know who I am on the street, it's an honor for real. Like just something that you could never expect. And it's a blessing, to say the least. Yeah. How about you?
I would say what led me to start creating, I always feel like I had a creator inside of me, or like a creative part of my being that I never really explored, whether, being in software sales and kind of just doing this mundane 9-to-5 tasks that I just felt like I wasn't able to be creative and consuming and watching and then participating in some, whether it be reality TV and just some content creation early on, that I really started to think, I can observe people being creative. I love that idea and concept of being creative. And then there's a career aspect of it that comes about. So I think what led me to be creative was just like, I always had it in me, but I never explored it. And now in today's world, like you can literally make a career out of being creative. And so I thought, well, let me give it a shot. Let me try and let me just make some content. And to like what you said, like a lot of it just started kind of taking off and being received well, in a sense of like it made a positive impact in people's lives. And so I just, kept going, and lo and behold, like 3 years later, I'd say probably I'm here. So yeah,
that's how it happens.
Yeah,
that's how it happens. All right, we got to finish this one off. This segment, we got a couple off the top of your head questions. Okay, this one's more for you. Honestly, I have not done any deals, so you can handle this one. What's your favorite brand collaboration in a few words, and why?
Lululemon.
Okay,
because I grew up wearing Lululemon my whole life, and that is probably has been one of my favorite fitness brands. So
That's fair.
having them reach out was like a me.
Did you ever like? Sorry. Did you ever
Yeah.
like get that stigma that Lululemon was for girls?
Yeah, I think I actually started buying Lululemon when I was in, like, middle school,
Yeah.
so like 15 years ago. And they had a very small men's section. I
Mhm.
remember my stepdad is the one who actually put me on to Lululemon. I said, "That's for girls. Like they don't have men." They're like, "It's like Jalen,
Yeah.
trust me. Their shirts, like this is Lululemon. This is a sweater, comfortable." And I was like, "Okay." So I got one. I was like, "This is actually really nice. It's different
Yeah.
than like Nike. It's different than these things." So, yeah, I think at first I was like, they don't make men's clothes, but
Mhm.
I don't know one of my male friends or a lot of men in this world who like I see that don't know who Lululemon is from a male perspective, but also who don't own something Lululemon. So
true.
that was the coolest brand collaboration for me because it was just like full circle moment. Like I grew up loving this brand.
That's fair.
Yeah,
That's fair.
yeah. Well, I guess so for you, what would be a dream collaboration for you?
A dream collaboration? I'm a huge sports guy. I think a collaboration with the NBA or NFL would be cool.
That'd be
Like,
cool.
or even like, I don't even know what the soccer league is called, but go across the country and get like, go across the world and get different aspects of different players, different things they've been through, different things they've dealt with. That would be just a big sports organization. Would
That'd
be
be
a really
cool.
cool collaboration. Yeah,
That'd be dope. Well, that's gonna happen.
Yeah,
I'll make sure that happens.
amen, 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 family. Okay, do you prefer creative freedom or a big budget?
That's a tough one.
That depends how big the budget is.
Yeah, I'd say it depends on how big the budget is. I've had a little bit of both, where I've had big budgets that kind of box you into what you're creating. Like they have a concept for you that they kind of want you to follow through. Like for me, it could be, hey, we want to focus on the wellness route. So you're kind of like, okay, I know that means like self-care, morning, whatever it may be, and they kind of allude to that. But I feel most confident when I have creative control because it's truly creative freedom. And usually the budgets aren't like that drastically different. But again, I guess it just depends, Yeah,
so, I think I've had to turn some stuff down because it's just like, I don't know if the numbers weren't enough, but the stuff they told us to do, I was like, do you guys even watch our content? Do you look at what we do? Like, have you even tried to make it match what our fans and our supporters really want to see?
It's funny because I had to turn down one deal way back, like 2 years ago. It was like when I was first starting to monetize this, and it was like I could barely pay my rent, and I was depending on my brand deals, but also my full-time job. And I was like, I'm living outside my means, blah blah blah. So I was hungry for that dollar, and I got one brand deal that was the largest one I got at that time, and I was like, and it was a brand that I think we all know, like Old Spice, or I think it was Old Spice, and they basically said like, hey, we want to basically take the entire creative freedom and like out of your hands and just tell you scene by scene what we want you to do, and then we're also going to put a voiceover of our own over it, and you just post it to your channels. And I thought, that's just not me. That's
literally not you.
It's not me. It doesn't feel like me. It feels like I just don't like that. So I haven't turned down many because I feel like a lot of people, to your point, show up knowing who they're working with and the concepts we put out, the content we put out. And so yeah, I think I've turned down a few because that when you get that taken from you, it's like, unless the budget's like huge, like that's just not worth it to me.
Yeah, and I've seen even like the biggest names I've seen before, like they might get this crazy deal to do a movie, like, oh, this movie's advertised because this famous star is in it.
Yeah.
But then like they do a scene or they do it's just a role that doesn't fit them, or it just is like, who is this person? Like this isn't the actor I fell in love with, actress I fell in love with, and it's just like, was it worth the band? Like, was it worth the?
I think that goes into the economics of just like who was on the brand teams of these companies or brands that like, are they just looking at the numbers of the creators themselves, or do they know the creator? Are they like, do they know what they're getting before they reach out? So it's a bit of both, but
facts.
Yeah. Okay. Tight turnaround or delayed payment?
Tight turnaround or delayed payment? I'm not even sure what that means. I'm not.
So for me, like a tight turnaround would be like if I got called today and said, hey, we need a video, like we want to offer you a deal, but we need it by Monday, versus hey, you have 3 weeks to complete this, but your payment's not going to come for net 90 days versus like net 30. So you got to wait 5 months for it.
Okay. I think I'd take delayed payment.
Delayed payment?
Because that's just a me thing though.
Yeah.
Once I know the money's coming, the money's coming. Like I can budget my dollar enough that like I'm not going to, like, just because I know I'm getting 100K in the future, I'm going to spend 90K this month. Like, I'm not going to do all that. Like, I just know it's coming. If it comes, it comes. And then when it comes, it comes. So I think I'd take delayed to just make sure the content is worth putting out there? Like, I wouldn't want to rush it.
I would say, and I hate to say this, but like it depends, but I would probably lean towards delayed payment because of that same reason. Like I like time to be creative because my biggest hurdle is like tight turnarounds. I could be busy. I could be doing other things like to create the space to sit down, conceptualize, like visualize it in, and like to do all these things that again that go into this behind the scenes of being a creator can limit or harm the overall content. So if you go put something out there where you didn't have the necessary amount of time, like I don't feel comfortable clicking post. So that's why I feel like delayed payment, to your point, it's coming, but I have more time to actually come up with a concept, like where I may be at in life creatively. Because if I'm going to create today versus what I'm going to create in 2 weeks, very different places I'll probably be at mentally.
Exactly. And I think creators need to realize that like, the money might not be as good, but what you're getting from the money, like, so if you have a video, you get like 10,000 views on it, but you got paid like a bunch of money, versus you have a video that got 10 million views on it, but you didn't get paid that much, you're going to get more views from, like, you're going to get more deals from the 10 million.
That's my point. And that's why I said no to like some of those deals in the past. It's like, I think this, again, the money's great. Yeah. Money isn't everything for me in this game, but if I'm going to put my name on something, I want it to be like something that I truly like, approve of, and is going to help me get more brand deals. And that, I think that's like just part of being a creator, because you see a lot of creators out there who kind of, you can tell. I think people who watch, and as a creator it's different, but people who consume and who aren't creators and they see a creator like getting paid to do a brand deal and it's half-assed, or if it's like you can tell they didn't put much energy, effort into it, that I think hurts the receptiveness of that brand deal. Or to your point, other brands see that and go, we want someone who really puts in time and energy to this and makes like a whole day production type of thing. So that's kind of how I look at it, but I agree with you.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
Segment 2, this is the quick fire round. So real quick.
All right,
I'll go, let's go back and forth.
Say less.
What's the best editing app, software, and why?
If you're broke, I'm going iMovie. I guess it's for free. It's easy to use, or whatever you got to do. If you got a little money to spend, Premiere Pro, strictly because captions are really big nowadays, and they have that auto caption function, and that helps me save a lot of time.
That's dope. I would say I don't use like Premiere Pros because I'm not on the YouTube podcast side of things, but for content, I would go Splice is mine. I use on my phone, but also in-app editing is pretty solid too. Like in the TikTok app, in the Instagram app, they have a lot of opportunities for you to create the video that you see other people create that you don't need to go to a third party. So I would say, but my best, I like Splice just because I'm used to it, but I can say that for anything if I got used to it. But Splice, there is a cost monthly, but it's not too much for what you get in return.
Yeah. All right. Smartphone or DSLR?
Smartphone for sure.
Smartphone 100%. Just
quick,
easy access.
I think people also like the idea that like it feels like very personal, like authentic. Like I'm not setting up a giant production just to make this quick 5-second video. It's like you just put your phone out, click record. I like that, right?
Exactly. Yeah. It's nice to come in the studio every once in a while, but most of the videos y'all see of me, I put my phone on a ring light or between a pillow, and it's just standing there. I'm just saying.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right, long form or short form?
Ooh, to make long form, to watch short form, I can't. I don't even watch my podcasts. They're too long for me. I just can't do it. But
were you an iPad kid?
No, I wasn't.
No, me either.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So that makes sense. Yeah, that's fair. Okay, what about you?
I would go short form. I can't sit there and watch long form for too long. I get like kind of, I don't know if it's like ADHD or something, but like my attempt, like I just need them in quicker bite sizes. Yeah.
Did you? Oh, they got rid of. Did you ever watch Vine? You did Vine?
I love Vine. I used to be on Vine.
Really?
Like I tried when I was back in the day in high school. I was on Vine for a quick minute, and then I went to military school, and I was like, whatever, it's not going away. And then a month later, gone. I'm like, yeah.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
All right. What's the best kept editing secret / hack?
Matching audio to changing of frames. So if I'm posting a workout video, let's say, and I'm done with my first set and I go to the second set, if there is a beat drop in a song or like a drum snap or like something that like when you see the audio waves, if it's like louder, I think visually and auditorily, I don't know if that's right, but like audio wise, like will make the reception of the video so much better and just looks more seamless. It looks like there's time and energy put into it. So that's my hack. I do for like all of my videos. If I'm making a song to Drake or 21 Savage or whatever it is, like whenever that beat changes or whatever, like I'm gonna make sure my frame changes with it.
Facts. And I would say this for beginning editors, and this is a question I get a lot whenever I'm editing, based off what he said, look at your sound audio. That helps you a lot, especially if you're trying to match an audio and video that you didn't have and you're just like stuck. I can't do it. People are always wondering how fast I do it. Just look at the peak of the thing and match it to when someone yells or someone curses or something like that. It's not that hard to do if you just focus on those little details.
Your engineer hat goes on. And then lastly, if you could get rid of one platform, which would you be willing to lose?
Oof.
Of the ones
tough.
you use.
Of the ones I use, or the one like
the ones you use, like specific, like that are in your everyday.
Okay, in my everyday, I think it would have to be. Damn.
I think it's a social media app, right?
Social media.
Yeah.
So Facebook, TikTok. Okay, Facebook's gone, but that doesn't count. Let's go. TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. Twitter's hilarious. I can't get rid of Twitter. Instagram, TikTok.
TikTok. I don't have Twitter, so the ones I use are probably just Instagram and TikTok. Like those are the only ones I'm on.
All right, gotta take one out.
I don't know. I feel like I'd probably get rid of TikTok just because I'd be preemptive and use a pretty soft excuse. Like it might be gone in a few months. Who knows?
Okay.
So like
I
could be preparing for that by getting rid of it. But
what if you add YouTube to the mix?
See, I feel like I would want Instagram and TikTok are two short form, and then we have one long form. So I'd probably get rid of one of the short forms just because I'm excited for like creating long form, because you get to be a little more personal and just like really have people get to know you.
That's fair.
So I feel like that would be a must have in this growth journey. But I think I would have to get rid of one of the short forms. I like Instagram because you really build a community on Instagram that can consistently show up for you. Because I know on TikTok, like the algorithms are very different.
Yeah.
TikTok algorithm, you can have 8 million followers. You post something, it can only be seen by 1,000. On Instagram, if you have 8 million followers, like you're going to get a lot of people that see that automatically show up and not like subscribe to you. It just, the way the algorithm works on Instagram versus TikTok, I think it favors more of a community for Instagram.
True. I've talked about that a lot all the time. People are always like 1 million TikTok followers or like 100,000 Instagram followers. I'm like, low key, I'm taking 100,000 Instagram followers. Like that's just better for me. And then
agreed.
Yeah, the only thing I do like about TikTok, I feel like it's low key like our Times, like our New York Times, like our paper, like our news. Like if anyone says anything, all I got to do is look it up on TikTok. I get a whole summary of what I'm looking for.
Do you see TikTok past Google as the largest search engine in the world?
Really?
Yeah.
No, that's actually insane.
Insane. So that's why I'm like, I like TikTok for these reasons, because you can learn a lot. It's a lot harder to navigate on Instagram, but I think for how I use those in my day to day, I'd probably get rid of TikTok.
That's fair. All right. Segment number 3.
Yep.
The creator and the strategy.
Let's get it.
All right. So what are some challenges you face as a creator? Yeah, talk your talk, Jay.
Yeah, man. I feel like I'm pulling up to therapy right now. I feel like one of the biggest challenges I face, I'll give 2, but one of them is creative block. I feel like there are times which kind of like ebbs and flows of, hey, I feel really creative, really inspired for a few weeks, for a few days, and like I struggle to ride those waves, and I kind of miss my opportunities of being creative, because like that block is really hard to get out of. But I would say, yeah, creative block is a big one. And then second is just you put yourself out there on the internet for people to observe and comment and like, I don't know, just have opinions on the way you live your life, the way that you view the world. So that's a challenge for sure. And just navigating that is still something that I'm trying to figure out, because it's an everyday thing. Like, you know,
it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah. What about you?
Challenge, balance. Honestly, it's just it's crazy. Like there's always something in life that's going on, whether it be work, whether it be school, whether it be at the hospital or whatever you be doing. Just balancing all that. And I don't know why, but sometimes I got like I know everyone's gonna survive if I don't post this video next week.
Yeah.
The world will keep moving if I don't post tonight at 5:00 p.m. on the dot for these people to go see. But it's like I hold myself to that standard of like I want my people to have their content, have their enjoyment. I really want them to like keep that consistency. And sometimes I feel like I'm letting them down. Like, why are you even following me if I'm not going to post the content?
Yeah.
But we're all humans. I have stuff going on. Everyone has stuff going on. And if they're following me for a reason. So I think, balance, just working that out, even getting time in the studio while trying to do everything I'm trying to do.
2 thoughts there. One, I think another challenge that kind of goes into what we're both saying is, even if we don't post for that week, like the world's going to go on, I feel like some people who consume content from certain people, like they expect them to create at the pace that they want to consume. So it's hard to, you know, if I'm like taking a day or two, you might get the comment like, where have you been? Like it's been a day or two, like we need more content. Like you get those type of things. But I think there's just like a layer of that inner, what's that relationship I'm thinking of? What's the word? What? Yeah, parasocial relationship.
Parasocial.
Yeah, because it's like, do you know what that is?
No, what's a parasocial
relationship? How I understand it is a one-sided relationship that if you watch me as a consumer, and let's say you have a bot account, you're just consuming whatever.
Type.
You know me because I share.
Because of what you've shared
but
so
I don't
far.
know you. So it's a one-way relationship where you may see me like what feels like on FaceTime. I'm talking about my feelings, my struggles, my life. You're seeing it all and you're consuming it. So you have an opinion, you have thoughts about me. You think we're like real life friends.
Where you know me.
Yeah, like you know me, and you probably do know me, but I don't know you.
Facts.
Because I can't. So I think that's like the idea of it, that is a struggle. But the other thing I was going to say, another challenge that I face is when to like be present and be in the moment. Because as a creator, everything you can create is content.
Yeah.
So like, especially for me, and like when I'm with my family, with my dogs, with my girlfriend, with my friends, it's like, do I need to be recording this right now? Like, do I need to set up? Or like, how? It's like a back and forth because you feel that pull from like, hey, we need more content. You need to keep going because it does impact your business of how often you're posting.
It really does.
But it's like, at what price or what is the sacrifice that you have to constantly be like invested in your phone to think that I have to be recording everything I do versus actually being present with friends and just hanging out and put my phone down because we're real people.
Yeah.
And so that's, I think, another challenge. Probably my biggest one that I've struggled with.
Yeah, that's a big one for sure. I've literally had conversations and like we'd be sitting, me, Jay, my friends or whatever, and I'm just like, should I like break out the mics? Like, should we record this right now? Like, but
having good conversation, you're making great points, and you're like, damn, can you say that again? Like,
yeah, exactly. Hold on.
Say that one more time. It's just you lose that authenticity.
Exactly. And that comfortability that
but it's tough because like what you said is potentially groundbreaking, but having to say it a second time because like you wanted to record it.
Yeah.
It's just such a hard battle.
That's true. That's true.
All right. What are some of your techniques for growing and engaging with your audience?
Ooh, this is a good one. I think the biggest thing that brought our channel up was making sure that we are engaging our audience. We have them DM us questions, that we have them be involved. We ask them, if I make a caption, most of the time it's a question to the people that answered. Give me your opinion. I want to hear what you have to say about what we just said. So making people feel involved, making people feel part of the family, like they're included. Yeah, I'm going to ignore some comments if you guys just being kind of like snarky or whatever, but I think people being able to express themselves as well as get another output or outlook on what the topic is just really cool to do.
That's really smart. Yeah. I think engagement with your audience, whether it be if you're posting consistently, like sit in your comments, like talk to people, respond, like things. I think people like to see that type of responsiveness from creators. I think relatability in a way is pretty important. Like I might not relate to the everyday person has to go into an office and work. I might not relate to the person who's a professional trainer for a living, or like athletes. I might not relate to athletes, but I think there are shared commonalities that we can relate in, like our mental health, or the relationships we're in, like what it's like being a guy right now, like what it's like being a woman, like just things that there are ways to relate to people in any way, shape, or form of life. So I think relatability in that sense, when you look at it that way, is pretty important. But yeah, I would say engagement is a big one. Like liking people who reshare your stories, like liking it, like checking your DMs, responding to people. Like people just like to know that you're real. Yeah, and
relatability helps with that. That's all the content that goes viral. It's like, I know what you're saying. Yeah. I know, I've been there. I like that song. I like what you just said. Like I want to send this to my boyfriend so he sees how to act. Exact. All that stuff that's relatable and stuff that your fans or people that support you want. That's a big one. It's
a big one, yeah.
But all right, I'm up. Are you with management or are you an independent creator?
I'm with management.
Okay.
I'm with management and agent. So they're two different, I guess, representations for me and my brand or platform. It's management helps like with the day-to-day growing a business. So if I wanted to like start a brand or start, looking at opportunities to grow, I would go to my management team, but my agency is the ones who are out there hunting for brand deals for me on a daily basis. Right. So there's definitely a division of two. Some companies out there do both, but I keep them separate because I think it's hard to be great at both, but you can be great at individual things. So that's what I found. So I used to be independent and I was doing like cold calling and like cold emailing, like reaching out to brands and just taking that off my plate has been a huge burden relief. So yeah, I'm I guess management, agent, and I have a lawyer too, I guess now. Yeah, so there's a lot of people on the team.
That's good.
Yeah. And you're independent, right?
Yeah, independent, solo dolo. That helps with that's the big balance thing, but whatever guys got in store next, we'll rock with that. Yeah.
I like that. How do you work on building creator relationships?
I tell people this is one of my favorite parts of having a podcast because I don't even have to we don't have to go to dinner. We don't have to have a call. I'm getting to know you like right now, my first time. It's been rare, but there have been some hosts or guests that I didn't favor as much as others. And some I just was like, nah, you're like mad show people. Like we could actually hang out outside of this. So making those relationships and it's cool. Like going to posting on my story and then everyone's like, you know Jalen Noble? You know Jalen, shout out Dub, you know Jalen Williams? I'm like, yeah, like I do. Like there's just the homies. Like to you guys, there's these big stars. So those relationships it's a special bond. It's a special type of thing to build, and it's just really cool, I think.
Yeah, that's dope.
What about you?
Yeah, I'd say I think it's a lot the same, like, because I think just like these conversations and meeting people like in real life, I think is really important because I run into creators who aren't what they put themselves out to be on the internet.
Yeah.
That's a struggle to navigate because you think you have so much in common with somebody, like you're kind of just friendly and stuff as mutuals. But I think like creator relationships are important because if I walk down the street, I can't share the struggles that I go through as a creator with anybody. So just meeting other creative people is super fun for me. It's an opportunity, but you're right. Like most of our conversations as we've gotten to know each other are deep, right? And like these are the kind of conversation that you have with somebody that you're comfortable with, that you want to get to know, that you grow with. And so I think those kind of things are super engaging for me, but I get to know you. So I agree with you.
Facts.
Yeah.
Next one was, do you think it's healthy to have a relationship with social media? Don't trip.
We got you. Do you think you have a healthy relationship with social media?
Oh, I changed the question completely.
I'm sorry. Okay, yeah. Do you think it's healthy to have a relationship with social media? We got you. Yes and no. I think you have to have a healthy relationship with social media because if it's not healthy, then I think that's where it kind of eats you alive and you kind of invest a lot of too much emotional bandwidth into something that is a device, an internet of things.
Yeah.
I think that's where it can get unhealthy, but I think healthy in a way that, if I put out something that I want to help people with, that I want to try to steer conversation in the right direction, like that is a healthy input. I think what you get in is what you get out. And so if you have that like healthy approach to it, I think it's a good idea. But the unhealthy ones, like you see people who have unhealthy relationships with the internet as a consumer or a creator.
Facts.
And we can go into either, but as a creator, it's, I think the unhealthy relationships are like people's worth is determined by their social media presence or the reception they get or the validation they get, and they displace all the things they can do for themselves in other people, and so they become dependent on social media. But I think there's a way to have a healthy relationship or an unhealthy, and it's just, I think for me, it's important to have a healthy one.
That's true. And I think the craziest part I've seen is people think that it's always just creators that have like an unhealthy relationship with social media. It's just, I've seen people with like 30, 40 followers, and then they freak out if they don't get 30, 40 likes. Don't freak out if everyone they follow doesn't like their stuff. Freak out if like we don't get a good comment on their pictures or whatever. So I think you have to have it's a balance type thing. Whether you lock your phone, like give someone your code, spend a certain amount of time on social media. And I just think you need to realize, like, you can't assume that creators are fake, but there are definitely a lot of fake creators.
Yeah.
Like, that's just how people make their bread off that. Some people, like we answered the question earlier, what's more important, the big check or the authentic content? A lot of people would pick the big check.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of people are making fake content and just trying to advertise things that are by all means unachievable. So
I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah.
And I think I had this conversation with Rebekah Mithinji. He's the Surgeon General of the US. And like, it's a very big proponent that they're trying to do as like, I guess the government. The relationship we have with social media, it's like a very recent study of like how it can impact our day to day. And so we had a pretty insightful conversation, and he talked about boundaries with social media because he understands how damaging it can be, especially if you're not a creator. If you're just consuming all day long and all of your real life emotions are displaced in a device, and this is my like inference I'm making, but like if that's not healthy.
Yeah, it's not. And
I always say that's like I guess in a joking way, but like in a serious way, is like sometimes people need to literally touch grass because we spend so much time on our phone and internet that, again, if we spend all of our emotional bandwidth, all of our like romantic bandwidth and on a phone and device that's not real life, we aren't aware of what actually is going on in our own world because we can displace it, and that's not healthy.
Yeah.
But I think boundaries in that sense, like people love a sense of belonging. And if me going on the internet to consume and band with people who agree with this take, disagree, show love, show hate, it's that sense of belonging that we feel. But again, it's virtual. So I think there's an important layer of, hey, it's unhealthy.
Yeah.
We need to actually have friends in real life, or actually go out and touch grass, or actually be out and be in our own world, and just create that boundary between the two. Because if you lose that boundary, it'll consume your life.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. Last one.
What is your creative process when receiving a brief and working with a brand?
Creative process. It would be, 1, read it over yourself. Make sure it's something you agree with. 2, have someone that you trust and really knows your content read it over as well, and see if that's something you agree with. Because sometimes the dollar signs can be a little blinding. You don't want to let like, oh, I just got this cool opportunity, or the brand can be blinding. Like, oh, this is my dream brand. Like, I don't even care if they're paying me that much. Someone who loves you and takes care of you, whether it be a manager, a proper manager, whether it be a good friend, whether it be a partner, they'll let you know if like, okay, I know you love this artist, I know you love this brand, but like they're underpaying you, or this doesn't really seem like something you would do, like if the money wasn't involved. So I think that's the big step. And then after that, I'd like to talk to and meet with whoever I'm working with. Like I'd like to, it's like I said, I get to know people on the podcast, but I'm going to be like, I'm not going to make this deal over the email. Like if you want to hop on a call, we can talk and see what you're really about.
See, I miss that point sometimes. I think my creative process is, I first will see the brand. That's like the first thing you'll see is like, okay, do I know this brand? Is this brand authentic to who I am? Have I used this brand before? Because I battle with that idea is like, if we got a brand deal from like this pH water, like whatever it is, or these pants I'm wearing, you know, that they can fit into my lifestyle because I like those pants. I might not have heard the brand before, but those are pants that I would wear. Like, so it's that, you know, constant, like the deodorants I use, like skincare. It's like, I may not have heard of these, but so I think there's a question there that first comes up. And then I kind of get into, okay, what's the brief, read it over, see the examples, ask some questions to myself, to my team, to friends. And then I just kind of sit with myself for a day or two as I come up with a concept, because usually they'll send the offer lands, you accept it. And then once you accept it, you have, I've gotten anywhere from like 1 to like 5 business days to turn over a concept of like how you want to do it. And that means like script, that means frame for frame, like how you're going to approach this. So I'll probably sit with it for a few days and kind of just try to find inspiration in my own life of like how this would land with people. And then I share it. And hopefully if I can get on a Zoom, or I can share it and jump on a call and like, hey, here's what I'm thinking. I love to have that sounding board of like the actual brand or representation saying like, hey, we love that, or hey, because it's the worst when you go to create it, you turn it in like, this is amazing. And they're like, not really. I wish you would have like, you know, I wish I would have had that conversation with you first before I turned that in. So that's my creative process.
Exactly. Smooth. All right. We got a little game for y'all. Is there a name for the game, or is it just a game? All right. 60-second campaign. We're going to see how creative we really are. Okay. So we're going to talk you through a creative process from the concept and execute this brief in 60 seconds, or try our best to. All right. You want to do first or second?
I'll go first. So you want me to read first, or you want me to?
I don't know. I said first. I wasn't very specific. Do you want to read first or give the brief first?
I'll give the brief first.
All right, cool. So, all right. So Jalen's going to give you all a brief. I don't know when your timer starts, but
I think after we get done.
Okay, bet.
Yeah, then we go.
I got a timer. So we're going to do the 60 seconds. All right. So you're going to give us a brief for a sustainable tech brand. The aim is a refurbishment tech brand wants to encourage people to buy expertly refurbished tech, such as smartphones, tablets, headphones. Explain to the audience how the brand works by refurbishing tech, and explain the purchasing for them is better for the planet. It reduces CO2 emissions. Message to the audience should have humorous tone of voice. Think tongue in cheek. Concept examples, this or that. Show the audience between how much they'll be saving between buying refurbished versus new. The quality, show that the refurbished tech isn't low quality, and then show it looks good, it just looks as good as the new one. And then you can pick one of the 3 deliverables: 2 TikTok videos, 2 Instagram reels, 2 dedicated YouTube videos.
All right. I guess when you start,
sell us.
Yeah.
Go.
So first of all, I would probably pick 2 TikTok videos. Okay. I think the concept examples of show the audience between how much you save buying refurbished or buying new. I'd probably find a pain point that relates to a lot of people, like whether it be I broke my iPhone or I broke something in my house that was expensive for me to buy, that I can easily replace it with a refurbished piece of equipment, and I'd probably sit on that pain point because I feel like that's most relatable to people that want to upgrade equipment, they want to find new technology, and I feel like price is a big thing, and if you can find a refurbished expertly one, like it's going to get the job done. So I would probably do that, and then I would show a use case of, okay, let me show you that I bought this brand new iPhone on the internet through this refurbished site. Let me shoot the video and like show the behind the scenes of what it's like and how it's shooting and the quality of the video, and then go and show the final product of like, there is no missing lap. There's no difference in buying the new one or buying the refurbished one.
Ooh, 55. Okay, set. I saw you speed it up a little at the end. Okay, 55. That's solid.
Yeah, I feel like that would just be the best way to like, how else are you going to sell somebody to buy refurbished if you're not showing the pain points why like you may want to consider buying refurbished but buying a brand new one every time.
That's fair.
Because also with the iPhone, like you can tell, I was like, you almost make a joke like, well, the new launch just came out, but like there's not much of a difference.
Yeah, what's the difference?
What's the difference? Like you want to pay an extra like $1,500 for this, but I'd rather just refurbish this one I have. So I'd probably add that at the end, the extra 5 seconds. I'd make that joke in that humorous tone of voice. I'd probably make a joke on that. But 2 TikTok videos because they're quick, easy. Yeah, I think I'd go with that.
All right, bet.
What would you charge for this campaign? 2 TikTok videos, refurbished company. I don't know, honestly. It literally fluctuates, but I'd probably do, I don't know, 10K per video. Okay. If not, that's like the starting conversation. But it could definitely go up from there. Yeah. Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the next one. Now this is your turn.
All right, let's rock out.
So the aim of the campaign, a leading paint brand wants to encourage homeowners to unleash their creativity as they anticipate the summer months through the power of color. Spruce up your home with a DIY project using the brand's luxury paint range. The brand has a tight turnaround for this campaign of 14 days. Concept examples: easy and quick DIY upcycle project, transform your home with a whole room makeover, and then the deliverables, you can pick one of 3 or one of 2. 1 Instagram reel with paid usage, 30 days on Instagram. I think it's just a one choice. And then bonus, what would you charge?
Damn. Paint?
Paint?
That's so paint. Ay, Dios mío. Okay.
You want to do your timer?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take a second.
All right, let me take a second for real, because what?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a few ideas.
Yeah?
I'm excited to hear what you got. Yeah.
Your ideas are definitely better than mine.
Let's see. All good.
Let's see. Okay. I'm going, because I go better off the dome. Okay, so for my deliverables, the 1 Instagram reel, paid usage 30 days. The Instagram reel would kind of be like just something easy and sweet, but something that relates to us. So it'd be a paint. We wouldn't go paint. We'd go colors. We talk about colors. We talk about favorite colors, best colors, what colors are better than other colors type thing. And then we would show examples of the colors. And then we talk about, here it is. We talk about how girls have better color vision than guys. Okay. Because when it's a mauve, when it's a purple, I don't know what we're talking about. You feel me? But I would show them, I'd be like, when I was little, my mom painted my room. She argued of this color, this color, this color. And then we'd get into paint. We talk about, okay, but what about the paint? Like, did you ever like run in the paint on the wall, like play with it? And you want to be, I'd be like, I want to be creative with it. I want different types of paint. I want different colors, but like not every place has the exact color options I want, except for bam, whoever I'm supporting. Yeah. Be like, but this place, mom always supported this place. Mom said, this is the best paint. She found this paint and this is what we're going with. So that's what I would do.
Okay. So a little bit like a,
I was off.
Well, you're right at it, but like from your childhood, like I love
something you can relate with. Exactly.
Yeah. I relate to this one because like if you walk to my house, every room in my house is a different color. Like I literally find different colors for the rooms and stuff that I'm in. So like,
yes, sir.
This was dope. Yeah, because a lot of it I feel like was like, damn, that's how I felt as a kid. Yeah, that's good. You would have saw me.
Okay, hey.
What would you charge for this campaign?
What would I charge for the campaign? 1 video for 30 days. Only 30 days. Probably around 5K, honestly. If it's a temporary video.
Do you know what paid usage is?
Paid usage?
Yeah, it says 1 Instagram reel and paid usage 30 days on Instagram.
Oh, I don't.
Okay, so I guess it's a good learning.
Yeah, I thought paid usage was just that's how long I have to keep it up.
Keep it up? No, it's close, but paid usage is essentially if you post it, they can spark it. they can say, you know what, we're going to, because it has paid a partnership. And like you see those ones when you open your TikTok app and it's like, here's a sponsored video that like you didn't, it just was there.
Yeah.
That's what paid usage is. So they can basically buy the number of views they want to get from TikTok, from Instagram, and say, hey, we want to buy 5 million views for this video. And you might have got 100,000 on your own or like 200,000, but they're like, we want to see 10 million. So they're going to buy that page usage and they're going to run and set a calendar for, hey, we're going to set this for 30 days to let it run. And basically Instagram and TikTok are like, we'll make sure it shows up on everyone's For You page.
That's fair.
And you can pick like the audience, I think. I don't know how that works behind the scenes, but that's paid usage. So you're going to show up. And this is probably one of my biggest pain in the asses with content creation of paid usage. It's like you see the same ones over and over. And if I know they're going to have paid usage on mine, like I know people are going to see the same one over and over of me. And I'm like, I feel like I'm going to be annoying to people.
I was about to say, how do you feel about that?
I feel like I'm annoying to people in that sense. Like I create the ad, great. It's a good ad. It's receptive, awesome. But if I'm getting ads from people and that's the same ones I see over and over and over again, I'm like, I know people are seeing the same thing from me. I'm like, I just don't want to be annoying to people because like, it's one thing to see it and like you can have your opinion. Like if that's annoying to you, like I don't care. But if you are forced to see it over and over, then you're going to start to be like, who's this guy?
Yeah, exactly.
Shut the
fuck up,
kind of, yeah.
You'd have to reach the exact fan base that you want, because like realistically on Instagram, they be getting me. Sometimes I see like, okay, I love anime, right? Sometimes I'll see an anime shirt and I'm like, I don't need to buy this.
Yeah.
2 days later, I see the anime shirt. It looks kind of cool. Third, okay, I'm buying the shirt.
Consistency.
Yeah. So if someone was looking for paint and they're like, I should paint my house. Yeah. And they see Jalen again, I really should paint my room. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So if you hit the right people, but I understand what you're saying, because I that doesn't really sound too authentic to me.
It doesn't. Yeah. It gives like an ad, you're getting paid for this. It just gives like, again, that's part of the business. But I think that's one of my things. It's like, I don't really love paid usage, but brands usually put on, I think like a 25% to 30% uptick on the overall cost. Like, hey, we'll also throw on this 30% upcharge for you. We'll pay you 30% more if you let us run paid usage, because they know it's
they know it's not. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Segment 4, Money Talks. All right, this is a very sensitive conversation. I think it's tell all, but we'll have it. Segment 4, Money Talks. What is your highest paid deal?
Highest paid deal, just once, I think was probably not that high. Probably, I think that maybe that's actually in the last segment where we had a discrepancy. Mine has been like 5K was probably the highest deal, just because it's always been little bites. Most of my revenue comes from streaming platforms and streaming all that stuff. So it's never really the brand deals that have done that much stuff with us. So yeah, probably that.
My highest paid deal, I'd break it down where like before I was a content creator, I was in software sales, and my yearly annual salary with incentives and commission was probably like 120K. Great career, loved it. I told myself when I could surpass that on a yearly basis from multiple brand deals, things like that, and this was 2 years ago, that's when I'd quit my full-time job. And I did 2 years ago because the opportunities would show up in that sense. It was like, okay, the combination of this is not only larger, but then you have to take into consideration the taxes that you pay, the commissions you have to pay to people, the things that you're responsible for. So I said, once I can get to that number of what I was making before after taxes, that's when I know I can do this as a full-time career. And obviously and we'll get into that more, but I think my highest paid, or I'd probably answer in like a way of like, when did I know I wanted to do this as a full-time job, was when I made more than my previous corporate job, but I also had enough to live for like 3 to 6 months. I had that rainy day fund, as my dad always told me, make sure you have a 3 to 6 month rainy day fund, 6 months if possible. But I told myself the second I passed in earnings over what I made as a software sales guy, then I could do this full-time. And I've passed that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Comfortably.
That's good.
Yeah.
No, I think that's a big point. People are always like, how do you know you've been successful in that field? And I'm like, okay, socially, when people are, I'm there. People have come up to me, talk to me, tell me that stuff. Monetarily, when I could comfortably live off whatever I'm making. Yeah. And that's just something that comes with time, comes with commitment and all that stuff. So I think that is just a really good point. All right. What's the lowest deal you've ever taken, and why'd you take that?
It was probably when I first started doing this full time. There were some ones that I was doing, I can speak to this. Like I did brand deals with like Celsius to start, and then like some raw sugar stuff started to come in. But there was one also where like I was struggling to make my monthly rent. And I was like I need, and this was one that came in. And again, this is lower relatively, but it was $1,500 for a whole Instagram reel. I think it was TikTok and Instagram, but post on both. and it didn't feel authentic. I said yes to it because I needed the money, but after I signed it and like a month went on, I kind of was just like, look, I can't do this.
Fair.
I literally had it done, edited everything. All I had to do was click post, but I was like, this isn't me. I'm not wearing this on a daily basis. I feel wrong misleading people that like this is something you need to buy if I'm not actually wearing it. Like I couldn't adopt it. And that's when my whole, I don't know, perception or just like approach to brand deals changed. Like if this is a new brand to me or a brand that I haven't worn, if I like this, I'm going to take it because I would wear this again in my own actual life, or I'd use this product again in my own actual life. But if I'm not going to, I feel wrong. So I think that was the lowest one.
That's fair.
I took it, but I didn't finish it.
Yeah. I think, sure, I would have done it for the free ski, but like, I don't really know if that's like considered a brand deal, because it was a brand, but it's your friends.
Yeah.
So I've definitely helped a lot of friends out.
Yeah.
And I do think that if you do ask your creator friends to help you out, you should. Like, if I know you like that, I really support the product, then okay, like whatever. But also, like, they're helping you, so help them out. If you have, like, you could get it for free, but what's the harm in paying them, helping, like, working out something that could be beneficial for both of you?
Yeah.
Like, not trying to just take advantage. Like, we know names in high places. I'm never gonna go ask one of my big friends to just do something out of the blue unless it has like meaning to me for real.
Yeah.
And if I can get you back, like help you out, then I'm going to do that same thing. So, but yeah, for the free, probably. Yeah. And I really liked, shout out Siptail. We're on to the next segment, number 5. It's the, how would you say this? ConC? The ConC. The ConC. Yeah. The ConC hotline. So we got our, let me get the phone.
Yeah. Our red phone.
Yeah, we got our phone for y'all. You want to go first?
I'll go first.
All right, bet. So we're gonna get a little call. We're gonna get a little question, and we're gonna give tips. We're gonna solve dilemmas. We're gonna answer questions for the creative community, and we'll read them out loud and give you our best advice.
Bring. Hi, Jalen. How did you go from people in your industry and other creatives and brands stop thinking of you as just Jalen from Love Island, but as Jalen the creator and the creative?
Okay. I think it really came down to, I'm talking the phone here. It really came down to showing who you actually are and separating the idea of a reality TV show, showing parts of you, showing their edited versions of you, showing things that I think you kind of understand how the internet works, where they'll take, let me put it this way. I wanted to regain control of how I shared who I was, because I don't feel like that was how it was portrayed on Love Island. I know that there were things that I definitely could improve on and stuff like that. But I think going from reality TV to being a full-time creator, I realized the power that you do have in just being your true authentic self and sharing that and the vulnerability with it. So I said, well, if someone's going to write my story for me or tell me who I am, I'm going to do my job of actually sharing my truth and being Jalen. And that's why my name is always Jalen, because I'm always going to be myself. And so that's how that's how I know I went from Love Island to where I'm at now. It's like, I have the power to tell my own story. I have the ability to share through my lens how my life goes and how I view the world, and picking up a microphone, picking up a phone, and just sharing that. So I think it's just about being vulnerable and truly being yourself and sharing that. So yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
Solid. Not the hang up. Good. All right.
Hey, what is your advice for starting a podcast as a duo or a group? And also, what are some things to avoid?
Okay, don't trip. I got you. Starting a podcast as a duo or a group, sit down with whoever you're going to do this with and let them know that nothing can separate you, regardless of how big you guys get. Because success is one of the big things that's going to separate you from agreeing, pretty much. When that money comes, when the lights come on, like, you're just going to turn into a whole different person. But the biggest thing is you want to have a conversation with someone you really care about and can always have a fluid conversation with. I started mine with one of my best friends in the world. Like, we can talk about anything and everything. It doesn't matter what it is, and be completely transparent with each other. So you don't want the conversations ever to seem boring or fake or just die out. And if you're ever going to do multiple people, always have that person or those people that have your back on the show, and know kind of just the dynamic of the show, and just be respectful to whoever your guest is on or whoever your other host is. And I do think you can just add to the party as long as it's a respectful thing. What was the last part of the question? Repeat yourself one more time. Things to avoid. Things to avoid would just be something. Don't follow trends just to follow trends. Don't follow trends. That I would give that to any creator advice. Don't follow trends to follow trends, because if it's not you, people will recognize that. So if you're just talking about something that you guys watched for 3 seconds just to get it on there, you're talking about some beef you saw on the internet, you have no idea what's going on. People are going to tell. So just be your authentic self. Avoid being fake, and avoid like the stereotypes. You don't always have to fit into the stereotypes or the norms of, oh, I have to be super clean, I have to be super dirty, I have to say stuff that is just super out of pocket for people to like me. If you're doing that, then it's not going to last. So just be your authentic self. Avoid losing yourself in the podcast. All right, because what they always keep saying, take these mics away from these men.
Oh yeah,
they love saying
make
that.
these $1 million.
Yeah, exactly. Make these mics $1 million. I'm gonna spend my $1 million talking on the mic. Okay?
Take a loan out.
Take a loan out.
Yeah.
All right, so we're signing off. Thank you for having us on. Jalen's gonna hit y'all with one more thing though, so go ahead, bro.
Yeah, there was an important question on segment 4 about how do you diversify your income as a creator, or do you diversify your income as a creator, and if so, how? I think this is really important because as a creator, your income, you own a business. I have an LLC, or an S corp rather.
Facts.
That it's just a straight wire of cash. Once it's created and it's paid out, you are now working and wearing multiple hats within the business. You're paying for your health insurance individually. You're investing. You're doing these things for yourself, because it's very different from the corporate world where, like, I knew that I had my 401k being matched every month. I had all these, I guess, advantages that I didn't have to worry about, and I knew it was being taken care of behind the scenes. But there are a lot of things that go into the longevity of this that really make a difference on how you invest or diversify. Because again, you can have a 20, 30-year career as a corporate sales guy like myself. I'd have a retirement when I got out, and I can, use that to live. But as a content creator, it is 100% independent. You're out there by yourself. Facts. And you're creating and trying to make as much revenue as possible, because this isn't forever. Content creation has a shelf life, and I think that you determine how long your shelf life is. But for me, I diversify. I invest in business. I've invested in like 2-3 businesses so far. I'm trying to meet with like Goldman Sachs and these other money managers out there who can make your money work for you. You can buy houses, buy real estate. So I think there's a very important portfolio that you create, because if you give me an excess of cash that just sits there, I'm probably going to spend it. And so I, for my own practices, need to get it off my hands, but put it in places where I know it can always work for me, that if something happens today or tomorrow, or like TikTok gets banned and it no longer ceases to exist, Facts. Or I get canceled or something happens, like I have a decent amount of money to live and take care of myself until I find my next adventure. So I think diversification with my income is very important, but there's multiple streams. Real estate, I'm looking into investing in businesses, investing in the stock market, finding safe, 5%, 7%, 10% interest returns in just, different areas. So I think a diverse portfolio is really important, because again, if your money's just going to sit there, you're just going to burn it.
Facts.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know how great of people you guys are, but I think that can also include donations. That can include helping people that are less fortunate than you. You're making all that. It's crazy to see how much creators make. Yeah. Crazy to see how much NBA players make. Crazy to see these people make more money than people that save lives on a surgery table.
Oh yeah.
Like, there's ways that you can help people out with that money that doesn't involve buying the most expensive chain. Maybe buy one, and then maybe with the other $100,000, donate. I don't. Sorry.
I think for me, it's like I try to take care of the people around me, because I know that I make a substantial amount that like I can live comfortably, and then what do I do with the rest? And I invest a lot of it, but there's still a good amount that I, reach out to my family with. It's like, how can I fixed my grandma's roof the other day that like she was literally leaking in her house in Georgia, and there was had to pay to get it repaired because she couldn't, taking care of just people in my circle that I think, obviously need it, because we don't make the same amount.
Exactly.
And
you can help.
You have to be aware of that and own that, but it's like, how can I help people around me? How can I help people in this world? So yeah, it's a big
Facts.
One. Yeah.
Whoa. Now official sign off. Yeah. Our final message to y'all is, if you want to be a content creator, go be a content creator. No one has to, you don't need 1 million followers yet. Start with your 5. Yeah. They love you. Your 5 people followed you. Only 5 people. Why are 5 people following you? They like you. That's why. Okay. So go start your content. Don't be afraid to post anything. People always say I want to start a YouTube channel. I want to start a TikTok. I want to start it. Then start.
Hesitation is the killer of success.
Exactly. Yeah. So
don't hesitate. I know, even like he said earlier in the conversation, when you have 30 followers and you get mad that you don't get like 30, that hesitation you feel before you click post is what's going to keep you from, if you want to be a content creator, being a content creator.
Yeah.
I struggle with that still. So I'm, preaching to the choir and to myself in a sense, but this is just one of those things where you just got to put yourself out there, be consistent, and share.
Facts.
Share.
The T is crazy because T's sitting in his room right now. You never know. Me and Jalen been on 2 podcasts. You might see 3, you might see 4, you might see 5. Hey,
we've caused conversations.
Yeah, we have caused a little conversation. So keep an eye out. We got some big things coming for you guys, and we're excited to share that and just kind of expand the world of Don't Trip with a little nobility in there. You feel me? You feel me?
Yeah.
So plug myself. Follow Don't Trip. My social, if you want to follow my personal and follow that, that's cool too. But Don't Trip, at Don't Trip on all platforms.
That's dope. Yeah. That's a very easy way to find you.
Exactly.
Plans for me, exciting plans. I'm actually getting into acting and trying to like do some self-tapes and stuff for like roles and shows and movies and stuff. I'm like, why not? I'm getting the opportunities, brought to me if I'd be of interest, and I always say yes. So I think putting myself out there as far as like exciting projects. So I think that's a project, is like finding other ways to, create a career from entertainment. So that's one. I think I'm trying to, getting into acting classes and stuff. And then second, I'd love to start a podcast and get on one. And like he said, it might be a little bit of nobility mixed with Don't Trip.
Feel me.
But yeah, I think just continuing to be myself with my platforms and continue to share and change the world. So I have a lot of exciting thoughts and projects coming out in that way, because the goal is to help the world, mental health wise, and the patriarchy, do things that I think make the world a better place. And that's the goal. It's a lot of exciting projects there.
Facts.
And then where you can find me, TikTok, always Jalen, Jalen, and then Instagram, Jalen_Noble.
Okay.
So where you find me.
All right. Well, we're signing off. Thank you, Creators on Creators, for having us. Me and Jalen, David and Jalen. And it's been great. Make sure you guys leave ratings and reviews on any podcast platform, probably Apple, Spotify, all that stuff. Yeah. And then if you're watching, drop a comment and make sure you subscribe too. All right.
Yeah, we'll be in those comments. We'll respond to them. So let us know.
Appreciate y'all.
Yeah. Peace.
Peace.
Wow.